Hey everybody, I'm Tony from JuryRig Technologies, and I'm just going to quickly talk about Nintendo's latest console reveal, well, handheld reveal, the Nintendo Switch Lite. So the Nintendo Switch Lite is supposed to pretty much be the Nintendo Switch, but smaller. In fact, reports say that if you take off one Joy-Con, it's approximately that size, which kind of feels like an old school Sony PSP. So, yeah, aside from being a smaller version of the current Switch model, the Switch Lite is not going to have an IR motion camera or HD rumble. However, it remains to be seen whether or not the Switch Lite will have some type of rumble feature, since it just won't have the HD version of it. As well, since you are losing that, well, bigger form factor and those, I would say, minor features, just because I haven't used them as much and or at all in any of the games I've played so far, you're gonna get an actual D-pad. So for those of you that wanted that, cool. I didn't mind the 4-button layout. It was fine. Speaking of the IR motion camera, games like ARMS, if you want to play games on those on the Switch Lite, you're going to have to buy individual Joy-Cons, which you can still pair them to the Switch Lite. However, you just can't play it with the ones that are already attached. Oh yeah, the Switch Lite is going to have Joy-Cons that aren't actually detachable. So Joy-Cons, but without the Joy part. Nintendo reported that the Switch Lite will be able to play any and all games that the Switch currently supports on handheld mode. However, so far, based on my experience on the eShop, it appears that all games are playable in handheld mode. Just that those that require, like the IR motion camera, like ARMS, you'll just have to buy the separate Joy-Cons, and the Switch Lite will not be able to be dockable to your TV. The Nintendo Switch has a 6.2-inch screen, and the Nintendo Switch Lite is going to have a 5.5-inch screen. Both will be displaying at 720p, but the Nintendo Switch Lite will obviously display the resolution a lot better just because it's a smaller size. The current Switch has a battery life of 6.5 hours. Although it's not an improvement by a drastic amount, the Nintendo Switch Lite is going to have a 7-hour battery life. Of course, it's also going to depend on the type of games you're playing. If you're playing something as Breath of the Wild, where it's graphically intensive for the Switch, since it was a direct port from the Wii U, you might see a battery life of around 3 hours for the Switch, and maybe somewhere around 3.5 to 4 hours on the Nintendo Switch Lite. What might drive customers to actually purchase a Nintendo Switch Lite over the current Nintendo Switch is that instead of costing $299, the Nintendo Switch Lite is going to cost $199, alongside with the 3DS. So rip the 3DS. The Nintendo Switch Lite will be available September 20th, alongside with 3 different colors: a light gray, a yellow, and a blue. And if you're willing to wait a few months, in November, you're going to get a Pokemon edition of the Switch Lite, which is there's Zacian and Zamazenta. Sorry if I butchered the name. What I find curious is that the Nintendo Switch Lite is launching on September 20th, alongside with Link's Awakening, yet there's no green edition of the Switch Lite or Legend of Zelda edition. Why wasn't there a red version, since Nintendo is red and Mario's their most iconic character? Okay, but do we really need a Nintendo Switch Lite, since the Nintendo Switch, well, if we look at it from a buyer's perspective, a Nintendo Switch is dockable. You can remove Joy-Cons and replace them, since they have that drifting issue. Well, not quotes. There's many Joy-Cons that have had the drifting issue on the joysticks. And, well, you get the IR motion camera and the HD rumble. So how does that add up to just a $100 difference for the Nintendo Switch Lite? So do we really need the Nintendo Switch Lite? Okay, move out. Right. So the Nintendo Switch Lite is going to appeal to people that don't have the $300 to shell out. And, well, me personally, I play the Nintendo Switch mostly in handheld mode. Rarely is it ever docked. Well, no. It's docked every night, that way it can charge, and then I put it into a carry case and I play it handheld at school or just hanging out at friends' houses or whatever. So most of the time it's handheld. So I don't really need the availability or not availability. I don't really need the feature to be able to dock it and connect it to the TV. And regarding the IR motion camera and the HD Rumble, HD Rumble is nice, but that's still not confirmed that it's not on the Nintendo Switch Lite in some way, just not as advanced as it is on the current Switch. And the IR motion camera, I don't play games like ARM, so I'm not really seeing any well, I guess it would be technically a downgrade in specs and hardware, but I don't really care for the IR motion camera. Okay, but what about those that do play games like ARMS and love that game? Well, we never said that you couldn't play them, since, like you mentioned earlier, you can play them. You just need separate Joy-Cons, which so why will still be comparable to your Nintendo Switch Lite. Okay, so why name the Nintendo Switch Lite a Nintendo Switch Lite when it doesn't switch from handheld to dock mode? I don't know, but I think it's mostly going to be the parents buying it for their kids are going to see that it's $100 cheaper, and that's what they're going to buy their kid. I mean, are you going to get one? I will be, but that's because, like you said, we only play handheld mode. So yeah, I'll be picking up a Nintendo Switch Lite when it comes out. Still haven't decided whether I want the blue version, light gray version, or the Pokemon edition. Although the Joy-Cons, well, not the Joy-Cons, the joysticks and the button layout looks a little bit nicer for the Pokemon edition, which will come out in November. Also, I'll be able to tell you whether or not a handheld-only Switch is good or not, just because I'm currently playing games mostly on handheld and not really docked, so I guess we'll see. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully the background is a lot easier on the eyes and for the videos and lighting. Hopefully it looks a lot better. Update on this soon. You can probably click somewhere and you'll see, like, or I guess I'll explain it really fast. But yeah, there'll be a new background for better looking videos than previous ones. Hopefully. Studio update 2.1 point whatever's next. Yeah, thanks for watching. That's a cut. Yeah.